Welcome back to Atlanta as we get ready for game one between the Hawks and the Bucks in this first round Eastern Conference Series. In time now for the starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Popeyes. And we begin with Milwaukee, a team that won 46 games this year in the playoffs. For the first time in 4 years, Brandon Jennings, John Salmons to the backcourt, Carlos Delfino, Luc Richard Mbah a Moute, and Kurt Thomas for the injured Andrew Bogut in the middle. For Atlanta, the healthiest team in the NBA this year, the usual starting five of Bibby, Johnson, Williams, Smith, and Horford. As mentioned, no Andrew Bogut, broken hand, dislocated elbow. Kurt Thomas doing a nice job filling in with more. Here's Rick Bucher.
Thank you, Dan. That's right. The oldest player in this series at 37 is going to have to fill that void. Now, Coach Scott Skiles says that if Kurt can get 8 points and 10 rebounds a game, he will have done his job. Kurt told me that equally important is keeping Al Horford off the boards. Now, he's been a double-double guy in the playoffs before, but the last time was 6 years ago for the Knicks. And I asked Kurt, does that guy still exist? And he said, I hope that person is still there. Dan?
Well, and they're going to need big minutes out of him, probably in the neighborhood, JB. 30, 35 minutes is what they might ask for him. You saw Andrew Bogut, that horrific injury suffered just a couple of weeks ago. Milwaukee went 4-2 in their last 6 games without him. And the Bucks, quietly, JB, one of the nice success stories, one of the nice surprise stories this season. Nobody thought this team would be playing in the playoffs.
Well, when you're extremely well coached like they are, you have a chance. And Scott Skiles has done a terrific job with his team. Remember, this team lost Michael Redd early in the season, an all-star caliber player.
Atlanta won the season series 2-1. We are underway here in game one. The veteran Bibby defended by the rookie Jennings. Although it may not be that way at the other end of the court. Josh Smith inside, 5 to shoot. Johnson for 3. Marvin Williams is fouled.
That is going to be a problem right there for the Milwaukee Bucks. Offensive rebound. The Atlanta Hawks so athletic. Marvin Williams, Horford, Josh Smith. These guys are going to crash the glass. Andrew Bogut, a double-digit rebounder. You take him out of that mix. Very difficult if you're going to ask Kurt Thomas to control the boards.
Not a great season for Williams. Up and down, had his moments, but by and large did not give the Hawks as much as Mike Woodson wanted. And the play of Williams and Mo Evans on the wing coming off the bench. Mike Woodson said that is a huge key in determining how far the Hawks go in the playoffs.
Well, you think about the 3 spot in the NBA. It's probably the most productive, and they have not gotten that out of Marvin Williams. He lost his confidence, really struggled for a couple months at a time. Played a little bit better towards the end, so we'll see what happens here in the playoffs.
JB, the Hawks start Joe Johnson on Brandon Jennings. Marvin Williams will get the start on Salmons, but after a switch, which Atlanta does a lot, Salmons the miss, Horford the rebound.
Well, we're going to see a ton of switching, and the key, according to Coach Skiles, I'll get that out, as Josh Smith posts up, is Brandon Jennings cannot settle for long jump shots. If you get Horford or Marvin Williams on him, he's got to take the ball in the basket, put the pressure on the defense.
Keep an eye on Salmons, number 15 for Milwaukee. Had 3 huge games against Atlanta with Milwaukee. Left-handed layup. He averaged over 30 a game in his 3 games as a Buck against the Hawks this year. What makes this guy so hard to guard?
Well, he's got great length. He can shoot the ball face up. He can put the ball on the floor, as we've seen the last couple drives. He can use his left hand, a great finisher, and he's playing with extreme confidence since he's come over from Chicago.
You'll rarely see a change in expression or emotion for Salmons. Al Horford, off the best year of his career, first-time All-Star Atlanta by 2.
Horford shooting 60% against Milwaukee in the 3-game series this season. A much improved jump shooter. This guy is solid in every area of the game.
There's a quiet reason why the Bucks made the playoffs. Carlos Delfino really had a good year. Played in Europe last year, was property of the Raptors. A trade was made in the offseason. And again, not a ton of huge names on this Milwaukee team, but boy, Scott Skiles squeezes everything out of their abilities.
Yeah, you're right. Carlos Delfino, a much improved 3-point shooter, great athlete. As Salmons raises at the end of the clock. Got to get back, Brandon Jennings.
Horford.
Horford there, looked like he got a pass there from Matt Ryan, the Atlanta Falcon quarterback. Josh Smith put that one on a rope.
Josh Smith averaging better than 4 assists per game this year, the highest mark in that category of his career. Vivian Delfino. So you've got unusual matchups. You've got Johnson at 6'7", 240, trying to stay with the quickness of Brandon Jennings, and he can't right there.
Okay, the nerves are gone for Mr. Jennings. But that's what you have to see. He's got to take Joe Johnson to the basket. There's no way that Johnson can compete with Jennings' quickness.
And they don't want to put Bibby on him because Bibby can't stay with him. We may see Jamal Crawford, of course, for Atlanta covering Brandon Jennings at times. Horford, another jumper, not this time. Atlanta 53-29 on the season. The number 3 seed. Milwaukee 46-36. The number 6 seed. Playing without Andrew Bogut. And Jennings fouled there by Johnson.
Well, Jennings has got the matchup with Joe Johnson. We talked about it from the outset. Get by him. Use his quickness. This is just a tough floater. There's no question about it. You like to see him get a little closer to the hoop, but get to the basket. Put the pressure on this Hawk defense. Don't settle for long jump shots.
But that shot's in his playbook. That's not a desperation shot. He's taken that a lot this season. Rises over Horford, doesn't get the bounce. Luc Richard Mbah a Moute on the offensive glass to tie it at 6.
Well, Josh Smith mistimed that jump, going for that rebound. Good offensive board there by Mbah a Moute.
Nicely done. Josh Smith at the other end. The nicely done was on your pronunciation.
Something like that. Yeah. I'll let you take care of that.
Luc Richard Mbah a Moute at UCLA. Josh Smith makes it a 2-point lead for the Hawks. Thomas short on the jumper.
Well, that's a shot that he can knock down. He's done it for years. A great mid-range shooter, pick and pop guy. Well, that's his game.
Smith trying to back down Delfino. Marvin Williams strong to the glass. You see it in little bursts here and there, what he's capable of.
Yeah, you like to see him put it on the floor, be aggressive, get himself to the free throw line. Very few free throw attempts for Marvin Williams. With his size and athletic ability, you'd like to see him take it to the hoop because you're going to get a breakaway, and Horford's going to get the easy flush.
And it was Marvin Williams' defense that created that opportunity. Scott Skiles concerned already.
Milwaukee takes care of the basketball pretty well, 13 a game. You cannot turn the ball over against this Atlanta Hawk team, especially here at home.
Delfino misses the 3. These two teams just played in Milwaukee in the last week of the season. Atlanta won that game. Again, Smith and Delfino. Smith just too big, but it rims out on him. Stolen by Bibby. A bad pass by Kurt Thomas. Bibby for 3. And Scott Skiles needs to burn a timeout.
Mike Bibby may not have one of his best regular seasons, but come playoff time, we've seen it time and time again. His ability to knock down huge shots. Here he gets the easy steal. Nobody comes out to guard him. Knock it down. Mike Bibby, big-time player here in the playoffs, and the Hawks are off to a great start here in Atlanta.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
This portion of NBA basketball is brought to you by Speedstick, smarter than sweat.
Woodson is referring to, not only is his contract up, it doesn't extend to beyond this season. Joe Johnson, JB, is a free agent. Who knows where he's going to be next year. Look at the progression in 6 years under Mike Woodson, improving their wins 5 years in a row. 2 years ago making the playoffs. Last year making the second round. Can they take it a step further? He's not putting pressure on himself, but he wants his players to understand they've got a great opportunity this year that might not come around again.
Well, you're right. I sat down with Rick Sun, Atlanta Hawks general manager, prior to this game, and he said, look, I don't do contracts during the season. If we could have got something done before the season, great, but once the season starts, that's the way I operate. It looks like a no-brainer that he's going to come back with the great improvement that they've made, but you never know what's going to happen.
Jennings over Horford, and that will snap the 9-0 run for the Hawks that led to the timeout. Brandon Jennings, definitely one of the top rookies in the NBA. Some people like him. Some people like Stephen Curry. Some people like Tyreke Evans. Those are the three you always hear about. And with good reason. They all had terrific seasons. And Brandon Jennings started all 82 games as a rookie this year.
And he's playing here today. The other two are on a beach or on a golf course.
Right. Mbah a Moute with a rebound for Milwaukee.
I mean, you do have to give him credit for being here, but you can't penalize the other guys for being on bad teams. Tyreek Evans, a sensational season, 25-5. Only Jordan and Oscar Robertson, but those numbers, as Solomon's